Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday, the 21st of April 2023. In today's Millwall news, advert, pardon me, Millwall announced long-term technical partnership with Erreá. Now, this is, if you watch my videos, if you're a subscriber, if you've been watching for a while now, this is old news to you, because a month ago, in a video titled "Millwall to drop Hummel for Erreá?" and in an evening with Neil Harris fundraiser more. In that video, about a month ago, I brought you the story that Millwall were going to be signing with Erreá. It was apparently leaked out. It wasn't confirmed by anyone, by Erreá, by Millwall, by anyone, but it had leaked out. Because there's a lot of speculation, because when the Elite Sports Group went bust and that all the clubs of Hummel were up doo-doo creek without a paddle, a lot of attention was given to that. So what are those clubs going to do? Coventry re-signed with Hummel because they're very happy with the shirts they're getting. They're getting very good shirts, and their sales were booming under Hummel. A number of other clubs jumped ship. Bristol City jumped ship immediately. They got a new shirt midway through the season, a new couple of shirts season, from a company called O'Neill. So this was discussed in the video. So yeah, if you want to keep up to date on the cutting edge, subscribe to the Daily Millwall and just check in on the videos every day. So Millwall announced long-term technical partnership with Erreá. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce an agreement with iconic sportswear brand Erreá to become its new technical partner. The 4-year agreement, which comes into effect at the start of the 23-24 season, will see Erreá manufacture and supply the club with bespoke playing, training and travel wear for the first team, academy, Millwall Lionesses, Millwall Romans and coaching staff. Founded in 1988, the Italian company has quickly established themselves as a leading sportswear brand at both domestic and international level, combining high-quality products with attention to detail and excellent customer service. The Lions also have a rich history with the brand, as their logo adorned Millwall shirts during their Sky Bet League One playoff winning season in 2016-2017. That was the blue and white vertical striped one. Steve Morrison, the iconic picture of him scoring and running off celebration. Stuart Locke, Millwall's commercial director, said, "We're very pleased to welcome Erreá back into the fold during what was an exciting period of progression both on and off the pitch at the club. Erreá have proven themselves to be one of the most innovative and customer-focused sportswear brands of the modern age. We believe that Millwall fans will love the new kits for 23-24 beyond." Does that mean he knows what they look like then? Erreá's Fabrizio Tade added, "Following our first too brief partnership with the Millwall Football Club, it always felt to us like there was unfinished business. We pride ourselves on working closely with our partner clubs to produce distinctive designs and clothing ranges together. We are so happy to be partnering with Millwall again, and we are looking forward to working with Stuart and his team for the next 4 seasons, during which time we hope to provide the loyal and passionate Millwall fans with clothing that they will love and want to wear with pride." And you can visit Erreá's website by clicking here and going to erreá.com/UK_EN. Why would we go there now? What are we looking at? Are Millwall shirts on there already? Doubt it. But yeah, so I told you this was happening a month ago. And lo and behold, it's come to pass. So we're moving on to this from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Interesting piece. I haven't read it fully. I've just skimmed through it, but interesting summary of where we're at. A realistic summary of where we're at, not hoping and dreaming. Mill's marathon is nearly completed. Wigan match will tell us plenty about whether they can last the distance. Have the wall, hit the wall. The Championship Marathon only has 3 stages remaining and the prospect of finishing outside the top 6, overtaken as the finish line is clearly in sight, doesn't really bear thinking about. The good news, and every Millwall fan could do with some of that, is that their playoff prospects still appear relatively healthy when you look at the league table and final matches. But the key question is how much Tuesday night's loss to Birmingham City will have a knock-on effect, and we'll have at least a partial answer after tomorrow's trip to rock bottom Wigan. What isn't in dispute is that the Lions' goals have dried up. They have not scored in 5 of the last 6 fixtures. They have had 95 attempts over that period, 21 and 22 of them in the 10 beats to Birmingham and Huddersfield respectively. About a similar amount away at Hull as well. When Millwall are forced to chase a game, it doesn't tend to end well. I've mentioned it before this season, the first goal has so often been absolutely critical to the way the match plays out. In the 14 games the Lions have lost, 5 of the last 6 defeats have been by a 1-0 scoreline, and their opponents have scored first in 13 of them. Contrast that with when Millwall have got ahead. Of their 18 wins, 16 of them have been half that they have scored the opening. The only exceptions being the home victories over Coventry City and West Bromwich Albion. Millwall had 2 efforts on goal against Preston North End and scored from both of them. Tom Bradshaw and Simon Fleming taking their combined tally to 29 in the league. They efficiently and effectively saw out the result. Yeah, that's the ironic thing. Like I said, he said there against Huddersfield in the other game and against Hull, we've had 20 plus shots. Against Preston, we had about 8, and 2 of them were on target, and we won that game. So when we have free reign and just go ham, go crazy on the opposition because they're just defending and not really doing anything, we can't even score, let alone win the game. When it's more what would we say, open game, and our chances are limited, we ended up winning that game 2-0. But in midweek, it was the textbooks way that so many sides have success against Millwall: strike on the break and then bunker down and withstand heavy artillery. Lukas Djukovic's decider was sloppy. It was Rowett who brought this big striker to Birmingham in December 2016, and he produced a poacher's finish. Danny McNamara's delayed attempt to close the reader. Kadra allowed the Brighton loanee to show a clean pair of heels to the right back before slipping the ball into the left of the penalty area. Djukovic looked like too wide even before he took a heavy first touch, but he scuffed the effort, took a slight deflection, the outstretched arms of George Long to roll into the net. Without the keeper's touch, the ball would have fallen for one of the Millwall defenders racing back towards their own goal line. The Lions tried to respond. Bradshaw was denied his 16th of the campaign by an instinctive save by substitute Birmingham keeper Neil Etheridge, arguably making amends for initially pushing Callum Styles' low strike back out into a dangerous area in the 82nd minute. Millwall lost for just the 3rd time in their last 17 home matches played on Tuesday night, 6 wins and 8 draws. Their last 14 goals have been scored by only 4 players, and Leeds lonely centre-back Charlie Cresswell, who bagged his 5th of the season in a 2-1 win over Swansea, has subsequently been ruled out after undergoing surgery on his fractured eye socket caused by the stray elbow of West Brom's Darryl Dyke. That means 14 of our goals have been scored by 4 different players, and one of them is out, so there's only 3 players left who've scored our last 14 goals. Cresswell is the club's 3rd highest goal scorer, with Vogelsammer in 4th. 5th is Benik Afobe, signed for Dubai's at a club in January. The last of the former Arsenal man's 2 goals came on September 17th. If Mill do miss out on extending their season, and you wonder how much different things would have been, medical issues are not aborted the January move by Birmingham's Kevin Nisbet. Bradshaw started 24 out of the Lions' last 25 league matches. He's played the full 90 minutes in 10 of those, averaging 79 minutes per match. Someone who covers so much ground pressing from run, that is always going to take some kind of toll. One of Rowett's comments after Preston was telling. It's always hard to get that perfect balance, he said, when discussing his players putting their bodies on the line to keep a clean sheet. When you pick a team that are trustworthy and will do that, sometimes you lose a little bit from the freedom going forward. If you pick a team that has freedom going forward, then we lose a little bit of what we are. We're always looking for that balance, which isn't ideal, but it wins us games. It's a really valid point, and it's only when Millwall don't do that, pick up a victory, that the clamour to be more offensive-minded really increases in noise. Millwall have the 4th best defensive record in the league, but are 12th for goals scored. When you have got strengths, it's very difficult to move away from them. Yes. So moving on to this, from the Southwark News.co.uk, Oliver Burke is still searching for his second goal in the Lions shirt after returning to the Den in the January transfer window. Gary Rowett was confused to hear about criticism of Oliver Burke after Tuesday's defeat to Birmingham City. The winger has scored just once since returning to the Den on loan from Bundesliga outfit Werder Bremen at the end of January, a crucial winning goal in the Lions' 2-1 win away at QPR on February 11th. Since then, the Scottish international has been a regular threat in the final third, but has often lacked a killer finish to buy in the back of the net. Some fans voicing their frustration that he should be doing more to contribute in the final third. However, Rowett believes that Burke has been one of the Mill's best players in recent weeks, citing his work rate and creativity down the right flank. I'm not sure why he's been criticised, because I think he's been really good. The manager said after Tuesday's defeat to Birmingham City. I think he's been one of our better players in the last 3 or 4 games created. He's beaten people and had some good moments. It's hard because as a player he's creating chances and he's doing it on his own. If he doesn't score, then of course he's going to face a little bit of criticism. I would rather have someone like that who's trying everything he can to play and get his way into the final third. I thought he looked bright and came up with some good moments for us. He set up a couple of good chances and forced a couple of really good saves from the keeper today off his runs. I thought they struggled to deal with him. It doesn't matter who does it at the moment. I'm not going to sit here and go through who needs to score more, who needs to do this and who needs to do that. In games like this where we've had 20-odd shots, against Huddersfield we had 20-odd shots, against Hull we had 20-odd shots, and not just shots and from distance they are hopeful. We had some quite good opportunities. We've got to take them. It's no secret to say you have to take the chances. It's no different in any game of football at any level. Indeed. Yes, exactly. Now, here we go. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall captain Hutchinson. Now is absolutely not the time to feel sorry for ourselves. Millwall captain Sean Hutchinson has told his teammates they cannot start feeling sorry for themselves after the Championship playoff hopes took a turn for the worse in midweek. The Lions lost 1-0 to Birmingham City in SC16 on Tuesday, the 5th time in 6 league matches in which they have failed to score. But Hutchinson is determined that Gary Rowett's squad rid themselves of any disappointment ahead of back-to-back away trips at relegation-haunted Wigan and Blackpool. It's a cliche, but we need to dust ourselves down and go again, the centre-back told the South London Press. We've got plenty of time in the summer to feel sorry about it. If we don't quite make it, I believe we can do it. I believe in the players we've got. We need to recover as much as we can for an absolutely ginormous 3 games coming up. Tuesday was very frustrating, especially the way we conceded the goal. Every time we lose a game, it seems to be the same way. They get a scrappy little goal, and we can't break them down. The boys were absolutely very deflated in the dressing room afterwards because we literally gave all our all. We can't give any more. We're such a hard-working team. We graft in every single match. It was a tough one to take. We need to focus on the job ahead and pick up the points we need. It almost felt after the game the other night that we had blown the old thing, and we're still in a massive shout. We've probably got one of the best work ethics in the division. The gaffer's never going to question that. We're all willing to run all game, every game, Saturday, Tuesday. The issue is more that we expect a bit better of ourselves in terms of the overall points return rather than the actual performance. We should have enough to get those points, and we're not quite getting it right now. It's been different this season. In the past, we've been chasing the pack, and it's always been a message that we're not talking about the playoffs, and we're taking every game as it comes. Whereas even from the start of this season, you're thinking, right, we've got a good squad and we're ready to go. Playoffs are the target and the ambition. Anything less than that, we're not happy. Now that we're in there, trying to get over the finish line is proving to be quite tough for us. Results of late haven't been good enough in terms of performances. It's very easy to just say that we played poorly on Tuesday. That it was rubbish, but I watched the game back when I got home on Tuesday night, and we weren't rubbish. We're just not scoring at the right times and conceding at the wrong times. Hutchinson says any input from him in the dressing room in the immediate aftermath of the Birmingham reverse would have been counterproductive. It can be difficult for the manager to say too much when the work ethic is there. You're not falling for the lack of effort, said the Geordie. You're failing because of a bit of quality or things not falling your way. Emotions are high after the game, and there's no point me shouting and bawling, saying this and that, and when you've not watched it back and you haven't seen how things have unfolded from a different point of view. It was Hutchinson's 85th minute header at Bristol Rovers on the final day of the 2016-17 League One season that clinched a 4-3 win and saw Millwall secure a playoff place. It's looking like the current crop's hopes of managing the feat in the Championship could also be up in the air until the visit of Blackburn made. We fancy ourselves at home after the Preston win. We thought we could, if we could beat Birmingham, it would mean we probably need one more win from the next three, said Hodge. It's like anything in the Championship, it's never easy. It's now looking like it might go right to the end. Over the season, we put in so much effort and got some cracking results to give us a point tally until now. Why can't we get over the line now? We'd be absolutely devastated if not, because at the start of the season, that was our focus. It might be the case that Wigan have to come out and win the game, but we certainly need to go and win it as well. It's not like we can just sit back and see a draw out. We need to be on the front foot. Indeed. But that hasn't helped, has it? We had 20 shots in about 3 games in which we did not score. We had 8 shots in the game that we did win and scored 2 goals. So who the fuck knows anymore? Who knows? Now talking. You want a quality used car with serve with a smile? Kazoo apparently. That Blackburn game, I think a lot of fans have twigged it and sussed it that will be an important game that we need to win, to either remain or to get back into the playoffs, however it may be. And the tickets are flying off the shelves. Only 1,000 tickets remain for Millwall versus Blackburn Rovers, and this was 8 hours ago. So Millwall take on Blackburn Rovers in the Sky Bet Championship on Monday, the 8th of May. That is a bank holiday. With limited tickets remaining in certain areas, then the Barry Kitchener stand is now sold out. With the Dockle stand also now sold out, apart from limited tickets in Zamber's family stand. More availability remains, however, in the Coldblow Lane stand, mainly in the lower tier. But be quick, because once they're gone, they are gone. And there you go. There it is. 3 o'clock kickoff on Monday, the 8th of May. It's going to be a huge game. Absolutely huge game. Because they have a game in hand. West Brom have a game in hand. Even if they slip up, we're probably still going to need to win this game. Because West Brom are probably going to be contention. So it's one of those. I think we need to win the next 3 games, to be honest with you. Before we get into talking about tomorrow's game away at Wigan, we got this. Obviously, it's the London Marathon on Sunday. Back in April, moved from October. Mill fans are staffed to run 2023 TCS. Who are they? I don't know. London Marathon. Several Mill supporters and staff will be running the 2023 TCS London Marathon on Sunday the 23rd of April, St George's Day. Below, those taking on the 26.2 mile course are highlighted. If you're attending this weekend or even watching on the phone, be sure to cheer them on. Why? If you're watching from home, they won't hear you. So here you go. You've got Dave Jones, Ted Datson, Danny Campstar, Rory Hill, David Elson, Preston Edwards, and Tony Dolan. And those are their numbers. So if you see someone with that number, cheer them on. Furthermore, Lions boss Gary Rowett and member of staff Billy Taylor are both running the course and aid of the British Heart Foundation and the Melza respectively. Gary's fundraising page can be seen at this link, whilst Billy's can be found here, and their numbers are there. So there you go. There you go. Moving on to the Wigan game. Now, it's been selected for overseas television coverage, which means it will not be available in every single country around the world. You can only buy a match pass if you are living in, watching in, one of these countries. Angola, Bangladesh, Bonaire, Botswana, Comoros, Curacao. You can read you can see it. Jamaica, Macau, Mongolia, Nigeria, Socotra. Do you know where that is? I know where that is. St. Eustace. I have no idea where that is. St. Eustatius. Not a clue where that is. Is that an island? I'm going to Google that after I film this video. Turks and Caicos Islands, Zambia, Zimbabwe. So yeah, if your country wasn't listed there, you need to get a VPN and find a way around it. If you want to watch this match because it's been selected for overseas coverage. So, moving on to the match preview and predictions. I'm going to start off with the history of this fixture. Again from 11v11.com, and again unable to move the results around. So the Wigan home game versus Millwall away has been highlighted in orange and yellow. Very first game up at Wigan, we won 4-1 in 1935. Wigan, I'm sure at that time, were a non-league team, so no surprise. I think they got into the leagues in the 1970s, maybe 1960s. But yeah, our first trip up there in the league, when we played them, we lost 3-1, 1982. You can see as we scroll down, quite a few wins, quite a few draws as well, but we never lost to them until the big one. Who remembers this one? 1999, Auto Windscreen Shield final, 55,000 Millwall fans to 5,000 Wigan fans, and we lost 1-0, and the guy handballed it. Yeah, stand up if you love Millwall. Do you remember that? They got a bit grating after a while, didn't it? Yeah, so we lost that one. You can see we didn't actually beat them, home or away, from that game in 1999 January to 2001. They were a bit of a baby team for us, weren't they? 3 draws in the league, and then we lost in the playoff. We drew 0-0 up there at home in the playoff, and then away we lost 1-0, and we lost 1-0 again in that same year. I don't think they didn't go up. So that's where that bogey team situation comes from there. And then the next game that we played up at their stadium was a 0-0 draw. And then in the Championship, 2005, we lost 2-0 to them. And then, see, they went up into the Premier League. They come down a bit. And then they fell off massively after the guy, Whelan, quit. He decided to retire and pass it on to his son. They've just been struggling since. And our results have been pretty good in the 2010s onwards. We went up there in 2014 and won 1-0. The same year, different season, drew 0-0. And then another draw, 2-2 draw, 2015. And now we get to more recently, 2020s and just before 2019, where we haven't won against Wigan since 2018, so that's 5 years, home or away, 4 games, 5 years. And both of the games up at Wigan, we lost them 1-0. So again, this is not a give me, even though they are in the bottom 3, even though it looks like they may be relegated, they got a bit of a lifeline because other teams got points deducted. The last 2 trips that we had to Wigan, we lost them both 1-0. So it's not given that we will win this game. It is not given. We failed to score in the last 2 trips up to Wigan, and we lost 1-0. And even at home in 2022 and in 2019, we drew with them 2-2 and 1-1. We haven't beaten them in 5 years, 4 games. Not looking good. Not looking good. So moving on to this from whoscored.com. Let's look at the match facts on the right hand side. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in Wigan's last 7 games. Wigan have kept a clean sheet in 7 of the last 9 home matches against Millwall in all competitions. Hey. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in Millwall's last 6 games. So that's not looking like a high scoring game. If there's been under 2.5 goals scored in Millwall's last 6 games and in Wigan's last 7 games. 2 teams that don't concede a lot, don't score a lot. Let's sort this out to home and away. So there you go, look at that. The last 6 games of Wigan versus Millwall, we've lost 3, drawn 2 and won only 1. In the 6 games we've scored 3 goals, they've scored 6. Look at the yellow cards though, my friend. Look, they've had 2 yellow cards in 6 games. We've had 14. Holy shit. Let's scroll down. This is the table as it stands. We've got 65 points, they've got 37. We've got 18 wins, double their wins. They've only got 9 wins. They're bottom of the league. And as a Millwall fan, you know that how games like this go for Millwall when we play teams at the bottom of the league. It's not how it doesn't pan out how it's supposed to, does it? So yeah. And as you can see, their form is actually better than ours. They've won 2 of their last 6. They won away at Stoke, and they won at home against QPR. Our win was against Preston North End at home. So there you go. So let's look at the home table. They're the worst home team in the league. They've won 4 games at home. They've drawn 6 and they've lost 11. They've only scored 15 home goals in 21 games. And they've conceded 34. Almost an absolute mirror to Millwall, where we've scored. Although it doesn't really matter because we're not at home. But, you know, away, Millwall 11th best away team in the league. We've won 7, drawn 5, lost 9, scored 19. So still under 1 goal a game. 21 games, 19 goals. Only conceded 24, but we do have a negative goal difference on the road. So, looking at the form, here's the form. We're 20th out of 24 for form. We've won 1 game, drawn 2, and lost 3 of our last 6. We've only scored 2 goals, but we've only conceded 3. Now, Wigan have won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. They've only scored 3 goals. They've conceded 5. So that looks like two teams that are struggling to score but have decent defenses playing each other to me. So here, let's click on that. And whenever you're ready. No, is it not going to do it? Don't know what's happening. It did not change it. That one changed, but this one did not. Now it changed. Okay. It's not. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so here's the games. The last 6 home games for Wigan, the last 6 away games for Millwall. Failed to score in the last 2, of course. We did score at Reading, we scored 2 at Luton, scored 1 at Stoke, and we failed to score at Coventry. So we kept three clean sheets and we failed to score in 3 of those games. Wigan, on the other hand, failed to score in 2 of their games. Actually, last time out at home, they lost 2-0 to Swansea. And they drew 0-0 with Norwich. Okay. They kept a clean sheet against Huddersfield, Norwich, and QPR. They failed to score against Norwich and Swansea. But interestingly, the games that they did score in, they only scored 1 goal. They were only able to score 1 goal. Here are their strengths. They're good in the air. Mill strengths. We have a lot of strengths. We have a fair few weaknesses as well. Here's the styles. There's a match forecast. Mill will score from a direct free kick. They sent it. And Mill will control the game in the opposition's half. Okay, so let's get on to the prediction from WhoScored.com. What are they saying? What do they think? Quite a few injuries to both teams. Like Callum Styles may be back. A second half Will King goal kept Wigan's survival hopes alive for another game week following a 1-0 away win against an out of form Stoke side. The Lacks remain bottom of the table, 7 points adrift from safety. Defeat on Saturday will confirm Wigan's relegation from the Championship. If we beat them, they will be relegated. Millwall will let off the hook in midweek as poor results from the chasing pack wrote off the damage from a 1-0 home defeat. Birmingham, Gary Rout's men still occupy 5th place with just 3 games to go, but have won just 1 of their last 6. And they predict Wigan 0 to 1. So again, not a goal fest. No, I don't think anyone expects it to be a goal fest. But they reckon it's going to be a 1-0 win, which will be our first win away at Wigan since 2014, which was a 1-0 win as well. And if we scroll up, our last win before that last win was 1-0 win in 1998, and before that in 1985 it was a 1-0 win. It looks like most of the wins that we've had at Wigan have been 1-0. So it was 4-1 in the cup. It was 1-0 there. It was 1-0 there. And if we scroll down, it was 1-0 there. 2014. Yeah, so all of our wins at Wigan in the league have been 1-0s. Only 3 of them. Yeah. So that's not a bad shout as a 1-0 win. So there isn't any prediction from David Pratton of Sky Sports this week, so I'm just going to have to make my prediction now. I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. It's just not clicking, is it? It's just not happening. There's problems there. You create so many chances and you can't score. I've said it in yesterday's video about all the shots coming from the middle. Bradshaw's playing too central. He needs to play off centre. And then that will open up space for someone else to push in. The way we play with going down the wing, because you got that central striker, the people going down the wing, they're basically on their own, and all they can do is just either push it back down the line or just whip it into the guy who's just Bradshaw standing in the middle. We don't really attack in pairs down the wings anymore. Not what we do. And I think that's a problem, to be honest with you. I think given the players that we've got on the pitch, it's all right. He keeps changing the players and bringing on new ones, but the formation's the same. You can change the formation in the game and then change it back. You got Vogelsummer there. You can put him up. You can play two up front, 4-3-1-2, or whatever, or 4-3-2-1, like a Christmas tree. And then you can just switch it back. You've got the players that can adapt to that. But I don't know. The way we're playing now, it's not really working. I think maybe teams have sussed it, probably from that Huddersfield game. Obviously, Neil Warnock knows what he's doing, so once he's figured some things out, a lot of managers probably watched that game and thought, haha, this is how you do it. They couldn't figure it out themselves, but once Neil Warnock's shown them how, then they've all jumped on board. But yeah, so I think it's going to be Wigan 1, Millwall 1. Prove me wrong. I wish, I really do hope we win, but can't see it. And on that note, thank you for watching, and